Well, the thing that I find to be the most important, y'all may not think this is the most important, but I think this is the most important, is you need to find the appropriate relaxer strength for you. You need to decide based on your hair density, based on your hair texture, what is the appropriate strength that you should be using, and which relaxer and what type you should be using. Now, this might take a little bit of trial and error, especially to find the brand that you like of relaxer, because some relaxers are a little bit stronger than others. Some relaxers process a little bit differently than others. So you might have to do a little bit of trial and error. I know I had to go through about 2 or 3 different relaxers before I decided on the relaxer that I was going to be using. So this may not be an overnight thing where you just automatically just know which one you want to use, and it's okay. First I was using the Optim relaxer, then I had tried the olive oil relaxer, and now I'm currently using the Cream of Nature relaxer, which I really enjoy. If you're somebody who likes to have a little bit of texture left behind in your hair, you want to choose a relaxer that's more so on the milder side, and you probably want to use a regular strength relaxer, because that is probably going to leave you with a little bit more texture on your hair, and you're less likely to have that bone straight relaxer look if that's not what you want. But if you are looking for that bone straight relaxer texture, you might want to use maybe a stronger relaxer, or you might want to use a professional relaxer system. I'm never going to encourage someone to use the strong or the strongest strength. Like, I think it's super or something like that. I'm never gonna recommend you to use super, because I just wouldn't recommend that. But you know, some people like that bone straight look, and that's what they use, is the super, and their hair looks fine and is thriving and is flourishing. So it's kind of just on a preference thing and what you want. But try a couple of relaxers to decide which one you like, and once you find one you like, I would recommend sticking to that one. Watch YouTube videos like this one, or just watch other relaxed hair girls and see what they're using, see how their hair looks, and just get ideas and try different things. That's how you kind of build up your regimen, your product base, and that's how you get new ideas for new things and techniques to try on your hair as well. The second tip that I have for self-relaxing your hair at home is to make sure you have enough new growth to work with before you relax your hair. Now, me personally, when I relax my hair, I like to have at least an inch of new growth to work with when I am relaxing my hair. And for me to get an inch of new growth, it takes about 8 to 10 weeks for me. Sometimes if I'm just super busy and I don't have time to relax my hair, it may fall on the 12-week mark that I relax my hair, but normally I really like to relax my hair right at 10 weeks. At that time, I find that I have a good inch of new growth, and that is enough for me to work with, so that I'm not scared that I'm going to over process my hair or anything like that. The third tip I have for relaxing your hair at home is try to be as neat and precise as you can when you are applying your products. Now, this is important for 2 different reasons. It's important when you are applying your pre-treatment. If you use a pre-treatment, some people don't use a pre-treatment. I like to use a pre-treatment to protect my scalp and to protect my hair strands that have already been processed. And the reason why you want to be precise and take your time when you're applying this pre-treatment is because the point of this pre-treatment is to provide a barrier on your scalp or your hair that's already been relaxed. So if you're applying this pre-treatment very sloppy and you're getting it on areas of your hair that are actually needing to be processed, your hair might be under processed in those areas. So be careful and only apply your only apply your pre-treatment in areas that have already been processed or areas that you want to protect. And this is the same for when you're actually applying the relaxer. You want to be as neat and precise as you can. I know it's kind of hard when you're doing this yourself. You only have 2 hands and you're working with what you have, but you really have to just really be precise and as neat as you can. If this means that it takes you a little bit longer, then it might just have to take you a little bit longer. I wouldn't say take too long with it, because you want to be able to apply all of the relaxer to your head so that your hair is fully processed. But you need to make sure you're only applying the relaxer to the parts of your hair that need to be processed, because if you apply the relaxer to a part of your hair that doesn't need to be processed, then you might experience over processing, and we don't want to be under or over. We want to be exactly where we need to be, which if you like a little bit of texture left behind, that's fine, but you don't want sections that are completely not processed or completely just didn't get to process and are under processed, and you don't want areas that are just weak and overly processed because you applied relaxer there when it didn't need to be. Some things that help me to just be a little bit more neater with my relaxer application is using a rat tail comb. I really like to use the rat tail comb because the rat tail comb is good for parting, and the tail tip on the end of the rat tail comb helps me to move my hair without me using my hands that might have relaxer on it to touch my hair, and it just allows me to part my hair easier, move my hair around, and I find that I am a lot neater when I'm using the comb. Another thing that I like to do is I like to buy a separate pack of gloves. The relaxer system more than likely already comes with gloves, but those gloves a lot of the time do not fit my hands well. They're very flimsy and I just don't like using them. I prefer to get tighter fitting latex gloves because it's just less likely that I'm gonna just make a mistake because I can't really feel what I'm doing. With the bigger gloves, because they don't fit my hand and because there's a lot of extra material, I can't really feel what I'm doing and they kind of just get in my way. So I just spend the extra 99 cents and buy me a 10 pack of gloves, and I use those on my relaxer days. Another tool that helps me when I'm applying my relaxer is to use an extra mirror. So normally when I'm doing my relaxer, I'm applying my relaxer in my bathroom, and I have a huge mirror in my bathroom, but what I like to do is bring in a separate handheld mirror, and this just allows me to look, make sure I've gotten everything in the back, make sure that everything's processed. And I think this is really important because I have not used a mirror in the past. Crazy. I don't know how I ever did my relaxer without using a mirror, but I've done it and I've completely missed patches in my head because I didn't just turn around and look and make sure that I had applied relaxer to everything, and that is an absolute no. So from now on, I always use some sort of handheld mirror, and in the past I've even used 2 additional mirrors. I've used a mirror that stands up and I used a handheld to make sure all angles were covered and to make sure I didn't miss anything. The 4th tip that I have for relaxing your hair at home is to get help if you need it. Now, just because you're relaxing your hair at home does not mean that you cannot have help. I have seen where a lot of girls get someone to relax the back of their hair because they can't see, or they maybe get someone to help wash the relaxer out of their head for them. I have done both. I had a friend that would do my relaxers for me or help me with areas that I couldn't see. She would also wash the relaxer out for me to make sure I got everything out. And my mom actually used to help me relax my hair as well when I was a little bit younger and I didn't fully know exactly what I was doing, just to make sure that I got all the areas and that I did it properly. So if you need help, ladies, and you have someone that is just a little bit more experienced than you, or you just need help because you can't see the bag, or you just want to make sure you got all the relaxer washed out of your head, don't feel bad or don't be scared to ask someone to help you. I think that's a very smart idea and a very good idea to take advantage of the help around you so that you don't make any mistakes. The fifth tip that I have for relaxing your hair at home is to make sure you take your time and shampoo your hair thoroughly. Make sure you shampoo your hair thoroughly. Make sure you get all of the relaxer completely out of your head. What I like to do to make sure I get all of the relaxer out of my head is I like to first rinse my hair thoroughly with cold water, making sure that the water runs clear. And while I'm rinsing my hair, I'm just rinsing. I'm pulling apart different sections of my hair. I'm going in between different layers of my hair, and I'm looking down at the water that's going through the drain and waiting for it to turn clear. I'm making sure I don't feel any residue of relaxer at all on my head, and I'm using cool water. I think it's very important to use cool water because you just undergone a chemical process, and more than likely this chemical has touched your scalp. So you don't want to go in with harsh hot water. You don't want to go in with extremely cold water. You want to go in with cool water. And this is going to feel good on your scalp. It's not going to feel too harsh, and it's just going to help you because you're going to be under the water for a long time, making sure you get everything out. And I would recommend you using a shampoo that is not drying on your head, because you want to shampoo your hair a lot of times to make sure you get all of the relaxer out of your head. The sixth tip that I have for relaxing your hair at home is to follow up with a moisturizing or bond building treatment after your relaxer. I would follow up with something that is a combination of the two, or use one or the other based on what you think your hair needs. Now, I just use the conditioner that is in the box of my relaxer system, and it is very moisturizing and I love it so much for my hair. And then what I do the following week after that, then I follow up with my light protein treatment. I really hope you ladies try these tips. I really hope they work for you. If I missed something, please let me know down in the comments. We are all about helping each other over here. And make sure you subscribe to my channel for more hair tips and to get to know me a little bit better. I appreciate you all, and I love you so much for being here. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.